My name is Nia. I have a good life. I have a nice house, a calm job, and a kind husband. His name is Daniel. He works in an office. He is always kind to me. He brings me flowers. He cooks dinner sometimes. He helps clean the house. But still, I always feel something is wrong. I wake up early every day. Daniel is already getting ready for work. He says good morning, kisses my forehead, and smiles. But when I look at his phone on the table, I feel nervous. I wonder if there are messages from someone else. I don't open the phone. I just look at it. It looks normal. Still, my heart feels heavy. When Daniel goes to work, I sit on the couch and think. Why do I feel like this? He never lies. He never comes home late. He always answers my calls. But I keep thinking about his coworkers. Maybe he talks to a woman too much. Maybe he hides something. One day, I followed him. I took a taxi and asked the driver to stay far behind. Daniel went to work, just like he said. He walked into the office building. Nothing strange happened. I waited for 2 hours. He did not come out. I felt stupid. I went home. Daniel came home in the evening. He hugged me and said, "How was your day?" I smiled and said, "It was fine." But inside, I still had doubt. I looked at his shirt. It smelled like his usual cologne. No perfume. No lipstick. No signs. Still, I felt worried. That night, I could not sleep. I looked at the ceiling for hours. I kept thinking, what if he is just smart? What if he hides it very well? The next day, I checked his drawers. I checked his car. I looked at his emails. I found nothing. Everything was clean. Everything looked normal. But my mind was not calm. I tried to tell myself to stop. I told myself he loves me. He shows it every day. But I didn't stop. One weekend, we went to a friend's party. There were many people. Daniel talked to a woman for 5 minutes. She was laughing. He was polite. I smiled and acted calm, but my heart beat fast. When we got home, I asked him about her. He said she was his old classmate. He said she was married. I said okay, but I did not believe him. The next morning, I looked at his friend list on social media. I found her name. She really was married. I saw her husband in her photos. I felt guilty. I told myself to stop again. Weeks passed. Daniel stayed the same. He came home on time. He brought me flowers again. He planned a trip for our anniversary. But still, I watched him. I checked his eyes when he talked. I watched his phone when it lit up. I asked him small questions to see if he would lie. He never did. One night, I cried in the bathroom. I looked at the mirror and asked myself, what's wrong with me? I knew Daniel was good. I knew he was honest. But my mind made stories. My fear was louder than truth. I remembered my past. My father cheated on my mother. I was 10 years old. I saw my mother cry many times. I promised myself I would never be like her. I told myself I would see the signs early. I would never be weak. But maybe I went too far. Maybe I looked for signs that did not exist. One day, Daniel sat beside me. He held my hand. He said, "Nia, you seem worried all the time. Did I do something wrong? I looked into his eyes. They were soft and warm. I wanted to tell him everything, but I only said, I'm just tired. He hugged me and said, I love you. Please tell me if something is wrong. After he went to sleep, I stayed awake again. I knew the problem was not Daniel. It was me. My fear, my past, my mind. I had to fix it. I had to trust. So the next day, I wrote everything in a notebook. I wrote my thoughts, my feelings, my memories. I decided to see a therapist. Daniel supported me. He came with me once. He waited in the car. He never judged me. Slowly, I started to heal. I still have bad thoughts sometimes. But now, I understand them. I know where they come from. And I don't follow them anymore. Daniel is still the same. Kind, honest, loving. And now, I am changing too. I don't check his phone anymore. I don't follow him. I don't ask tricky questions. Now, when I feel scared, I take a deep breath. I remind myself, Daniel is not my father. I am not a child anymore. I can trust. I can be free. This is my story. It is not a perfect story. But it is real. And I am learning. Days passed. Weeks passed. I tried to stop thinking too much. I told myself, Nia, your husband loves you. You need to trust him. But still, small things made me worry. One evening, Liam came home late again. He said, sorry, there was traffic. I smiled and said, it's okay, but inside, I felt that old feeling again. That small fear. Next morning, I saw a message on his phone. It was from Mark, but the words felt strange. It said, don't worry, she doesn't know. My heart jumped. I wanted to scream. But I didn't. I just kept quiet. Later that day, I asked Liam, who is Mark? He said, he's a friend from work. I nodded. I wanted to believe him. But my mind didn't stop. That night, I cried in bed. I looked at Liam while he slept. His face looked calm, peaceful. I whispered, do you really love me? He didn't hear. He was deep in sleep. I felt alone. Next week, we went to a friend's party. There were many people. I saw Liam talking to a woman. She was laughing. He was smiling. My heart burned again. Why is he so happy with her? I asked myself. After the party, I didn't talk. He asked, what's wrong? I said, nothing. But inside, I was full of pain. I knew I had no proof. Liam never hurt me. He never lied to me. But my mind was full of pictures, full of stories I made myself. I knew this was wrong, but I couldn't stop. I started watching him more. I checked his phone when he was in the shower. I read his emails. I followed him once to work, hiding behind a big hat and sunglasses. He never saw me. I felt crazy. Then one day, Liam sat with me and said, Nia, are you okay? I looked at him. Yes, I said. But he shook his head. You don't trust me, he said. You look sad every day. You don't smile like before. Tears filled my eyes. I don't know what's wrong with me, I said. I feel scared. I feel you'll leave me. He held my hand. Nia, I love you. I chose you. You are my wife, my heart. I come home to you every day. I stay with you. I talk to you. What more can I do? I cried hard that night. Not because of him, but because of me. I was fighting shadows. I was fighting fears that were not real. Liam did nothing wrong. After that night, I tried to change. I tried to stop checking his phone. I tried to stop watching him all the time. I tried to live, to love, and to breathe. But it was not easy. Some days I still felt that cold fear. Some nights I still woke up and checked if he was beside me. He always was. His hand always searched for mine in sleep. I started seeing a therapist. I said, I don't trust my husband, even though he gives me no reason to doubt him. The therapist nodded. It's not about him, she said. It's about you. Your fear. Your past. Your thoughts. Little by little, I learned about myself. I learned that love needs trust. I learned that fear can break even the strongest heart. Liam stayed with me. He was patient. He held me when I cried. He smiled when I laughed. He didn't leave. Not even once. Now, I still have bad days. But I'm healing. I'm learning to love without fear. I'm learning to believe. And every time Liam kisses my forehead and says, I love you, I try to believe it with all my heart. Because love is not just a feeling. It is a choice. And every day, I choose to believe in him. And I choose to believe in myself too.